Today we're going to paint this abstract flower that I've been working on for a pretty long time here. Just gonna do a red color here, just making an outline of everything of what exactly I'm gonna do. It gives me sort of like using a sketch pencil, but instead just using a paintbrush to just sketch the little water droplets of water. I know red is a pretty bright color, but I thought it really fit with the theme that I was going towards here. Just adding small strokes using my, I don't know what brush it is, but it's my thin brush, and using that to make small strokes. And I was trying to make it as thin as possible, but it looks really big and a little bit ugly, but you know, we are just painting here. So the next part was basically like adding the outside layer there that I already did, just finishing it up here, adding little strokes, and then sort of making it a little more thicker and easier to just flow through it. It's just tiny squiggles around, making it sort of like a border around all of it, but it does make it look really amazing and sweet at the same time. It's definitely something that I've been trying to do, is trying to paint things that I have already envisioned in my head and making it sort of come alive. And yeah, next I'm painting is outlining the borders that I made for the little rainbow, we call it. It's sort of supposed to be a purpley color, but it ended up being really gray. But it is sort of like a purple, but I'll say it's a grayish purple. But you know, it does sort of tie the whole thing together. It sort of makes all sense when everything just comes together, you know. I'm gonna add more red paint there. And I'm using like very little paint because you actually don't need like a huge blob of paint in order to finish it. The less is better. I did get this red a while back, but I haven't had the chance to use it until now. It is pretty new, so you know, I should have actually tried to make my own purple color. I think I should have added purple. That's the only regret that I have painting with this, is that I didn't use my favorite color, purple, you know. But just smoothing all of the red lines over there and just making it nice and thick, it really makes the whole thing like sort of pop when I add this red color. It's sort of like a bold color that nobody really wants to use. It's sort of like always like in the background, but I feel like it made the whole thing come alive. If I didn't add the red, I don't think I would have liked it, honestly. So I'm just gonna keep on painting this and then do the same for all of them, and then go to the last layer there. And then here I'm just adding some pink color that I already had made for it, just like coloring it in sort of like alternating colors between light pink, I think this is a magenta color, so magenta and then light pink, but it didn't end up being light pink, so I wasn't sure what sort of direction all these colors was going towards, but it's definitely something that I couldn't even imagine myself. But once I think about it, and then the less I do about it, the more I'm like, okay, this is actually gonna be an amazing painting, and when it comes together, it's definitely magic, I think. This is a very cool like sort of setup here. I'm just gonna do the background blue, and I did add a dash of white also, and you can see my messy color palette. So gonna add that drip of white there, then gonna mix it all together. I don't know why I've never filmed painting, but I just think it's really satisfying, and I'm surprised that it can create such a masterpiece behind the camera, because usually it just looks like, you know, it's not that good. But it was actually satisfying to use to actually color it, but it did make sure to be very precise so I don't paint over my design, because I know I have to repaint it, then that would be like a whole thing that I had to redo. I wanted to make this painting as perfect as possible, but it also has to be like very like clean, and I actually didn't have to put that much layers onto it, which was actually really nice. I didn't have to put another layer on it, but it did took quite a bit of time to finish all this, so we're just almost at the halfway mark, I think. It's like this whole painting actually took like a couple of hours. And I was maybe able to do more and more each year and I want to do more paintings. I got more canvases, so I don't know where to put them yet, but I think I might put it on my wall there because there's no painting. I mean, there's two of them, but one of them is pretty old and the other one is like very Christmassy, but you know, I wanted to put like a painting all the way on top of the wall in my area of, I want to put it there, but I still don't know. But I think it makes sense to put it there and then make another one specifically for that one, or I can put one near my bed, above my bed. But so for this part, I actually ended up making this lighter blue, and then I don't know, I felt like it was a little bit too much blue, but it did sort of blend in with the other blue. It's sort of like a gradient, which I didn't expect. So the whole thing was supposed to be just like straight up, was supposed to be like darker blue, but then since I didn't want to use it again and trying to remake the color, I just decided to just use this color. I mean, it does sort of like a little bit too bright for it, but I felt like it was fair. But doing this art is, I think it's pretty rewarding, and I don't know, just so much more satisfying when you see something that you worked for a while, like, get recognized for something. It's like really special, something creative of your own, but I still haven't found a place of where I want to hang it. I don't know yet, but you know, if you want more of videos like this, maybe you should comment below and then like this video, and of course subscribe if you enjoy my craziness that I do all the time. I just feel like that I'm so good at doing digital art that I really forgot like how exactly to paint, because painting takes a lot of effort and you can't really make any mistakes. But with digital art, you really have to like. So I did let it dry, sort of, but before that, I'm just gonna touch up the red lines and the outline. I really like wanted to use black as an outline, but I really didn't think that it would go well with all the colors that I already have. But this is sort of like my favorite part. I think it was like, because what happens is that when you paint the blue, it gets covered and then you have to repaint it, and then once you've repainted all of them, then you just do it again. It's sort of like a touch up too, so I don't have to go back and forth and just struggling to see if I can actually do it. But it is great about what you can do with what you actually have. And just try to paint. Don't even think about all the complications that you can have. Just do it, and then you'll enjoy the process along the way. This is probably a quick painting. I don't know how exactly my other paintings were, but I felt like this one was more successful than I haven't done actually a proper like abstract painting in a long time. I actually got it a while ago, but then later I just decided to go for it because I wanted to do at least one painting this summer, because I felt like I really needed it. I felt like it was a way to like. So anyway, since I had leftover red, I thought I would do like a little swirls here and then sort of make it look like Starry Night. But I felt like it all came together, and I felt like I was sort of like a magician for doing this. And then, but what really helped was having those thin brushes. I think before I never actually had that, but I felt like it was something that I saw in myself, that I know that red isn't exactly a like very like exciting color, but I thought since I already used red that I would sort of incorporate it in this painting. I felt like it was sort of like I felt like it was a good idea to add all these colors, and I did end up using blue because I didn't want to waste any of the paint that I already had. I sort of wanted to add a like Van Gogh Starry Night, like thick strokes and impasto mixed into all of this. I wanted it to be really fantastic, and I do feel like it sort of felt like I did the exact same colors of the 4th of July flag. I wasn't actually intended to go towards that direction, but I felt like it was actually something. I don't know, I just never used any of these like colors before, because most of the paintings I do are like yellow, green, maybe a little bit blue, but not entirely, like just like red and then this grayish color and then all the other colors. But I did felt like the top really like very envisioned like Starry Night to me. I think it's very cool, and then all the brush strokes that I did really actually count for something, and I felt like I was doing something special just adding this. But the swirls were actually supposed to go like, I don't know, in a different direction, but this time thought it would fit this way, but only in this like way that I would actually change it. But I felt like it actually mimicked the reference image that I already did on Procreate. I really thought it was good, so I really think that my painting was gorgeous and amazing, and I think I wouldn't change it I would never even repaint it because I felt like it was one of those pieces where I felt like it was actually good. And even like art, there's no such thing as good and bad art. It's just how you receive it.